Thank you. Madam President, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much, dear Antonio, dear Donald. We had a very good meeting today, and thank you very much, Antonio, for organizing it. It was timely, and it was a very substantive exchange. So first, we discussed our transatlantic partnership. This remains our most consequential relationship. It is fundamental to promoting peace, security, and prosperity. And against the backdrop that we know that there is a lot at stake, we discussed ways to strengthen a very pragmatic cooperation with the United States. There are clearly new challenges and growing uncertainties, so the European Union is prepared for a robust but constructive dialogue with the United States. But we also recognize potential challenges in the relationship with the United States, and we are ready for that. When targeted, unfairly or arbitrarily, the European Union will respond firmly. This weekend, we witnessed how steep tariffs were imposed on Canada and Mexico. Those tariffs raise business costs, they harm workers and consumers, they create unnecessary economic disruption and drive inflation. We do not see much good coming out of this. So we prioritize productive discussions and engage early. At the same time, the European Union remains also steadfast in its multilateral commitments, be it from our development aid to our climate targets. And of course, we are fully aware of the fact that we have our own challenges that we have to master. We have to do our homework. So it was very clear today also that we would focus on the competitiveness of the European Union. As I've laid out in the Competitiveness Compass, we have a whole roadmap to work on. This was the backdrop of this whole discussion. This is also where our discussion today on defense comes in timely. The threats we face today are real. They are growing, and they come from many forms. From Russia's war of aggression in Ukraine, you mentioned the cyber attacks, the attacks on our critical infrastructure. We must prepare and respond together as Europeans. We must be stronger in defense. Europe needs basically a surge in defense. And for that, our defense industrial base must be strengthened. This means, first, our defense spending must increase up from the current average. I have 1.9% of GDP because I look at the average of the European Union member states. So for many, many years, we have underinvested in defense. Thus, there's a great urgency to increase the defense spending with a big magnitude. And for this, we need, first of all, more public funding. I am willing to explore and will use the full range that we have of flexibilities in the new Stability and Growth Pact to allow for a significant increase in defense spending. Furthermore, the second leg would be that we are working with the EIB to increase the flexibility of lending practices. The EIB is willing to do that. They say, rightly so, what they need is flagship projects on the table of the EIB. And of course, we need more private funding, so we need to have a dialogue with the private banking sector that it modernizes its lending practices. Second, our coordination in defense must be strengthened. For instance, through joint procurement, ensuring interoperability that brings down cost and gives us scaling opportunities and advantages. Third element, we must simplify our legislation, so we will look into the procurement legislation, what we can speed up and how we can simplify. The fourth element we discussed was that we need to foster defense innovation, including through increased cooperation with Ukraine defense industry. It's amazing to see how fast the Ukraine industry has been built up, for example, for drones, cheaper, faster, more intelligent drones. So our defense industry can learn a lot from the Ukrainian defense industry that has the experience of the battlefield every single day. And finally, very important for all of us in the discussion was, if we spend billions and billions of taxpayers' money, we need return of investment in form of increased know-how, and good jobs here in Europe. As you said, the Commission will present a white paper on the future of European defence by March. And starting with our discussions today with the white paper, there will be a basis for the Member States to take the necessary decisions in June. Strengthening our cooperation in defence also means deepening our partnership with NATO and non-EU European partners. This is why the participation of Mark Rutte at our lunch today was so timely. And in the same vein, it was today very good to have a thorough discussion with Prime Minister Keir Starmer, because European security concerns us all inside and outside the European Union. We already have a strong cooperation in place, bilaterally, as G7 members, as part of the alliance. Now we are ready to discuss deeper cooperation, notably in security and defence, and we will discuss the structure and format of such a deeper cooperation and other topics at our common joint defence summit in the UK in May. Now, we need to set a lot of initiatives in motion. And Donald, I'm so glad to have you as the rotating presidency, because I know we can rely on you and the dynamics. You have made security the central theme of your presidency, rightly so. So I know we can count on your energy and dedication of the Polish presidency to drive this topic forward. Thank you very much.